My next interview here on Charging into the Future is with Andy Deatrick, a former teacher and curriculum coordinator at Northwest Allen County Schools. He's now retired, living the life in Florida on a golf course, and he gets to work on a golf course, so he gets to get a really good price on his rounds. So check out this next episode on Charging into the Future with Andy Deatrick. Okay, welcome to episode number 3 of Charging into the Future, where we ask questions of Carroll alumni, Carroll staff, Carroll coaches, and other people that have been associated with Carroll High School and Northwest Allen County Schools. And so I'm down in Stuart, Florida right now, visiting with Andy and Vicki Deatrick. And so Andy agreed to be on our episode here. So I'm going to ask him some questions and get to know you. And so people can get to know you as well. Andy, tell us where you're from.
I was born in Northwest Ohio. I grew up in Defiance, Ohio, which is halfway between Fort Wayne and Toledo.
Not far from Fort Wayne. Okay. What did you study in school, and where did you go to school?
I first went to Ohio State University, where I was a pharmacy major, and then I switched to microbiology, and I just spent 2 years there.
Did not know that about pharmacy. You're interested in that?
Mm-hmm.
Microbiology, what did you plan on doing with that?
Microbiology is just very interesting because you're in a lab and you're making all these germs grow, and you're finding ways to genetically manipulate them, or you're looking for medicines that will kind of break it up. But after being in a lab for a year, I was like, I'd really like to be able to go outdoors sometimes. So I decided I didn't want to do that anymore.
Okay. So you eventually settled in on education.
Yep.
Okay. And you were a teacher at Carroll High School, as well as a curriculum coordinator. I want to ask you about those as well. But why did you get into education?
Well, once I left Ohio State, I worked for a year in a factory in Defiance. And that was a really neat, eye-opening experience because you got to see how American industry works. But I always knew I was going to go back to school. So once I took that year off, and I grew up a little bit, and then I transferred to the University of St. Francis here in Fort Wayne. And I was a social studies and a biology education major there because I wanted to get into coaching and that kind of stuff. And then once I graduated from there, I just never left Fort Wayne. I started working for Fort Wayne Community Schools, and then when I turned 40 years old, I moved out to Carroll High School.
Okay, so where did you teach in Fort Wayne Community Schools to start with?
I spent 11 years at Southside teaching biology there, and then I spent 5 years at Snyder, where I taught social studies. And then when I came out to Carroll, I went back to teaching biology again.
Okay. What attracted you to Northwest Allen County Schools? Why did you switch from Fort Wayne out to Northwest?
Well, I had spent 15 years in an urban school setting, and I love Fort Wayne Community Schools. It's a great
district.
It's a great school district. But I wanted to try something a little bit more rural, a little bit more suburban, because that's kind of where I'd grown up. And I had some colleagues who they lived in Northwest Allen County Schools, and their kids went through there. Okay. And I liked the baseball program was good, and basketball program was cool.
Still a good program.
And so it was just that it was time for a change in career wise for me.
Okay, and that's where I first met you, when you started teaching biology at Carroll High School, and then we started hanging out together a little bit. We saw you at some events and other things like that at Carroll. Were you involved with any coaching or any other things? Activity-wise?
I did not coach anything at Carroll High School or Northwest Allen County Schools, with the exception of the Marty Beasley's youth basketball program, where I coached my son when he was going through that. But I was a statistician for the football team for a dozen years, and a statistician for Marty when once I was there for probably close to 10 years with him.
So the basketball program.
Yep. And sometimes I was a scorekeeper for girls basketball sometimes. So. Yeah, I love me some Carroll basketball. I love me some Carroll football.
Okay, all good programs, and the baseball program as well. But there's not a program at Carroll that's not a good program.
Yeah, one of my favorite things about Carroll High School, and I would tell this when I was working there, I would tell people all the time, there's not a single thing that we don't do well there. Sure. Academics is great.
Yep.
The band program is great.
Yes,
the art program is unbelievable. Culinary program is unbelievable. All our athletic teams have success.
Yeah,
I mean it's great. And now we had the Champions Together program started when I was there, and that was neat to watch that grow. Like to this day, there's not a single thing that we don't do well at Northwest Allen County Schools.
like you said, the fine arts program. We got the spring coming up soon. We're going to have the fine arts outstanding what those students do and create, and it's just amazing.
Yeah, that fine arts showcase is the highlight of the year. I enjoyed walking through the gym and seeing all the great work those kids do.
It is. So what got you out of the classroom and then you became the curriculum coordinator for one of the curriculum coordinators for Northwest Allen County Schools?
Well, it first starts with the administrators that I worked with, specifically Deb Newmeyer, and she was so good to me and allowed me to be as creative as possible. So right around 2010, I started to get whiffs of like the value that YouTube videos could bring to the classroom, and I saw how some teachers around the country had made their own videos to supplement their instruction, and so I was like, well, if they could do that, then I can do that. It can't be that hard. So I did some research and figured out how to do it, and Deb and then Park Ginder was the freshman principal over there at the CFC, and they both said, I told them, I go, hey, I want to flip my classroom, which is essentially I'm going to deliver my lectures through video that they can watch as their homework at night, and then they can do their homework with me in the classroom. And it was
life. The way it should be.
Yeah, it was life changing for me because I always felt as a teacher, you're like a comedian that's given 6 shows a day. And I got tired of talking about mitochondria, same thing all the time. Like my material didn't really change. And so when I could put it on video, and that was in syndication, and it could live up there forever, then what I could do is, it wasn't me at the chalkboard all day. It was me out in the classroom walking around and helping kids one-on-one and talking to them. And the other thing that was good about that situation was the kids could kind of work at their own pace. They had like a 2-week window to get whatever work they wanted to get done to be prepared for the final, like a chapter test or a unit test. And so they could pace themselves. And so it could work around their schedule because, Carroll kids are very busy. I mean, if you're in athletics, if you're in athletics, you're working hard. If you're in the show choir, you're working hard. Yes, you do. So they could work around their schedule a little bit, and then they would have me as their support system, helping them with their homework and other stuff during the day. And it was the best thing I've ever done for my career, and it opened the door to. They allowed me to use my creativity. I mean, I allowed that creativity to allow kids can learn how to make their own video projects and do audio projects and that kind of stuff. And then that basically led eventually, I was named Teacher of the Year in 2012. And then a couple years later, I was promoted into a tech department role where I could teach other teachers how to, expand their horizons on how to use computers. Because at that point, we were going to have computers for every kid and every teacher.
We did go one-to-one.
Yeah. So I could help train them on how to use that device as a creativity tool and to make their lives a little bit more efficient. And that was really fun. So my last 9 years at Northwest Allen County Schools, out of the classroom, and I got to visit all of the schools, which was really cool. And I learned that middle schools are really cool. They're really cool.
I spent my first 9 years at the middle school level and then moved over to the high school, and I had a blast teaching at the middle school.
Yeah, I mean, if I could go back, I might have became a middle school teacher because it was really cool to watch middle school teachers teach. Those kids are great. They're silly, and they're going through all this great growth, and it's really fun. It was really
an important time.
I really liked middle school. It was pretty cool to see that.
Great. Okay. Well, good. And then when did you decide to retire? When did you actually retire and then move to Florida?
When I met my current wife, and she had a job offer in Florida she couldn't refuse. Okay. And so I waited a couple years. We did a long distance relationship for a couple years. And then once I was eligible to retire, I retired. So I retired early as possible.
Got your rule of 85.
Yep, got my rule of 85. So when I turned 55, I moved down here, and we love living down here. It's awesome. We couldn't be happier where we live.
So that's kind of how you're charging into the future.
Yep.
What's that look like for you, charging into the future?
For me, I go out and I enjoy the sunshine as much as possible. We happen to live on a golf course, so I play almost every day. I actually work part-time at this golf course, so I do something to keep myself busy. We'll go to the beach. We go to concerts. We hang out with friends. I go fishing. We go see Broadway shows.
Sounds like a great life.
We have a lot of fun down here. It's great. It's absolutely great. The biggest thing I miss about not being in education is being around the kids and being around the high school sports, because I don't go see those anymore, because I mean, we have 3 high schools in our community here, but I'll see the Friday night lights, but I just haven't gone to a game yet. But I'm looking forward to being back to visit in the fall and go see another Charger football game and watch that.
That'll be good again.
Yep. And so that's I'm in a new spot in my life, but I really, really like it.
Well, it sounds great. Thank you for taking the time to interview and also kicking my butt on the golf course.
Well, thanks for coming to visit. We had a blast this week, didn't we?
We did. So hope you enjoyed this episode, and
go Chargers.
Keep tuning in. Thank you very much.